Article by Mohammed Alsulami titled, Iran's attack on Israel shouldn't distract the world's attention away from the Palestinians suffering with the priority of the Palestinian cause and the necessity to escape the Iran-Israel trap. Iran's recent military strike on Israel has sparked debate over its implications. While some argue that Iran achieved symbolic victories and potentially reshaped its relations with Israel and the United States, others suggest that the primary focus should be on the impact of the attack on the Palestinian cause, particularly during this critical juncture. However, beyond the controversy, it appears that the attack had little utility and actually harmed the Palestinian plight. The attack, planned by Tehran, aimed to secure symbolic gains without provoking significant responses from Israel or the United States. However, it did not consider the interests of the Palestinians, who were not factored into Iran's strategic calculations. Consequently, the attack failed to serve the Palestinian cause effectively. Furthermore, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu capitalized on the attack to divert international attention away from the Palestinian issue. By leveraging the situation, he sought to evade pressure to cease the war in Gaza and to reposition both domestically and internationally. The aftermath of the attack has significantly complicated the situation for Palestinians. Prior to the Iranian strike, the Palestinian issue held the spotlight among international and regional powers. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and his government were under mounting internal pressure due to security failures leading up to October 7. Subsequently, they faced isolation and increasing American and Western pressure. This pressure has escalated to the point where there are calls to replace Netanyahu and his hardline allies with leaders who are more inclined towards constructive approaches to political settlements and resolving the long-standing conflict between Israel and Palestine. In addition to internal pressures, there is regional insistence on ending Israel's military campaign in the Gaza Strip. There are urgent appeals to alleviate the humanitarian crisis and provide essential aid to civilians. Most crucially, there is a concerted effort to pursue a fair resolution to the enduring Palestinian issue. Israel's global image has suffered a severe blow, reaching its nadir, while the legitimate rights of Palestinians have garnered unprecedented support. The plight of Gaza has elicited widespread sympathy on an international scale. The Iranian attack on Israel dramatically altered the dynamics surrounding the Palestinian conflict, granting Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu his desired outcome. Israel, previously isolated both regionally and internationally, found itself at the center of a coalition rallying to defend its territory. Formerly marginalized Israeli leaders began receiving support from world leaders, transforming Israel's international standing from accused to defender. Israel wasted no time in leveraging the attacks to refurbish its image, portraying itself as a victim facing an existential threat in a hostile environment, a narrative it had cultivated for decades. The discord between Washington and Tel Aviv gave way to a profound understanding, which Netanyahu capitalized on to navigate internal pressures preceding the strikes. With the successful repulsion of the Iranian attack, Netanyahu gained legitimacy to bolster his authority, empowering him to pursue hardline policies towards the Palestinians and disregard international calls for negotiations to resolve the conflict. The recent attack could have held significance for the Palestinians and their cause had Iran integrated it into its rhetoric of supporting and defending Palestine, especially during this critical juncture for the Palestinian issue. However, the strike was executed without consideration for the challenges facing the Palestinian cause or the dire situation in Gaza. It also disregarded the presence of Iran's allies in Gaza, who are actively engaged in the Palestinian resistance and are being targeted by Israel. From Iran's perspective, the attack represents a victory, providing protection for its leaders facing Israeli aggression and restoring a sense of dignity. Additionally, it serves to maintain Iran's reputation and domestic credibility amidst the ongoing conflict. Iran's recent actions not only deviated from its vocal support for Palestine, but also had detrimental effects on the Palestinian cause, diverting global attention away from it at a crucial moment. This diversion hindered international efforts aimed at halting the ongoing conflict, alleviating the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and pressuring Israel to cease its military operations against civilians. Instead of bolstering support for Palestinians, Iran's attack provided Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and hardline elements within his government with justification to disregard both internal and external pressures. This emboldened them to intensify military operations in Gaza, as evidenced by current developments on the ground. Additionally, it allowed them to consider implementing previously postponed aggressive plans, such as storming Rafah, potentially escalating the conflict further. By diverting international attention, Iran inadvertently facilitated Israel's ability to prolong the conflict, exploiting the distraction to advance its military objectives while the world's focus was elsewhere. This has prolonged the suffering of civilians and exacerbated the humanitarian crisis, which has incessantly been raging for over 6 months. The current danger lies in Israel's potential exploitation of the opportunity provided by Iran, which could lead to the imposition of a new reality regarding the Palestinian issue on the international community and the broader region. Netanyahu may seize upon the Iranian attack to evade pressure and demands concerning the Palestinian problem, while the United States might leverage it to advance its wider regional agenda. However, it is imperative for the international community and regional nations to resist falling into this trap. They must not be swayed by the extremist policies of Iran and Israel, which could exploit regional escalation and polarization within competing security frameworks, potentially sparking a new Cold War in the Middle East. Such actions could serve as a diversion from domestic political, economic, and security failures. The Palestinian cause should not be held hostage to the ambitions of Iran and Israel, nor should it be manipulated to strengthen their respective positions. It is crucial to restore regional and international momentum towards ending the conflict and achieving a just and comprehensive settlement for Palestine. Urgent efforts are needed to pressure Israel and its government to curb their extremist policies. A resolution to this issue is not only essential for the stability and security of the region, but also for fostering broader integration and cooperation initiatives.